Good, guys. So, okay, I'll read them.
Okay, we can now check in.
Wait, I'm trying to get ready.
And it's 4 o'clock. Time to start.
So it's supposed to be 8 minutes. Yep. So now we can check in. Also, we have a statement. Oh, we have not done a statement again. We have a lot. Okay. Are we checking or I should
Yes,
continue?
just do
Well,
the statement.
let's do statement.
Let's do the statement.
Okay. Yes. I just copy the statement.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5. Open your eyes.
Okay, I think we can now check in.
Yeah. Okay, let me continue. Mm, Uh, I'm for.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we will have a good session today. I've been working on legal bills, non-profit taxes, payroll.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know many others.
Okay, you are typing. Okay.
Deadlines,
Okay, let me go ahead.
deadline updates.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, what is it again? Oh, calendar update, calendar reminders, and executive support. Check.
Okay, I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm at 3. I've been working on recruitment and payroll. And I pray we have a good session. Check.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can take roles. We already told what should we be taking roles?
There is no need because we are
Why
not
you all
many.
going ahead like that? Mm-hmm. So let's
Let
go to
me,
desired outcome.
uh, let me do the first
Okay.
status recording. Yes, I want to do the verification first. You know these
Okay.
things. I mean, indexing topic. This will be topic one. Recording. You are also recording, right? Note. Yes. A rhythm.
Yes. Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
This will be topic. Verification. It's 100%. So these are
Time
the.
to stretch. Please stop. Stand up and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Yeah, this good thing. Now we can put the what the desired outcome. We can have open discussion.
Okay. So let's start with open discussion.
I just put as a topic, just doing open discussion, budget, we'll just budget cut. Don't know what topics again we can have. Don't know. Maybe you think of another topic.
I don't think on anything else. So which one would you like us to start with? I'm fine starting with anyone.
Mm, even when I'm fine for any, maybe you can
Okay,
do
let's start.
open discussion.
Okay.
Don't.
What's the desired outcome?
Hello.
Hello. This outcome can be maybe to brief ourselves to where we are. Just have a little brief.
On desired outcome on Lucy proposal. What's the desired outcome on Lucy's proposal?
Desired outcome of Lucy proposal is to have an agreement on where to get the money. To discuss on where to get the money. Before I send the proposal, because I think the major thing is to discuss where I should get the money from.
So it would be
Jay,
options
see, I think Jay would like to check in first.
for buying Lucy's tokens, right? So Lucy wants to sell her tokens, and there's options for buying the tokens, right? This is about tokens, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to check in. I am a 3.25. I am a little distracted because there's a few other things going on. I've been working a lot on the outreach. Still reasonably unsuccessful, but making a little bit of progress. Also working on the taxes. I did get the taxes sent in. I got me and Marcel got the payrolls for the Spanish payrolls all completed and done. And so that is actually pretty
Please
cool.
close your eyes. Count 1.
So
2,
are we out of
3,
pay stop for
4,
that now?
5. Open your eyes.
Mr. Lucy,
Correct.
let him finish, please.
Oh,
Yes, that is correct. So we can now run payroll under our policy. So
Okay.
so that's all very exciting. From there, I've also been preparing for some of these travels. I am going to be taking leave and traveling in about a month, and I'm going to be spending some time in Old World as well because it's in Europe and everything. So I'll have to figure that out. But I'll be like partial leave, and then yeah, I think from there, just mainly the co-op 2.0 recruitment and just trying to get everything organized for our team because we are still not doing great, but we are barely hanging in there. Check.
Okay. Okay. I think we are on topics. Focus on topics. Is there any topic you'd like to add, Jay?
Um, I mean, I think our top priorities are like multimedia, revenue generation. We have the recruitment. We've got payrolls, payroll deadlines. There's the planetary session here. I don't know what to do about RTVA, but we're going to be on 50% pay stop for a very long time if we can't address that. But maybe we just need to focus on recruitment. I don't know if we can't do the RTVA. Check.
Okay, for topic 1, we have option of buying Lucy's token. Any objection? Or is there any other topic you would like us to start with?
No, that's perfect.
Okay, let me create that.
I'm getting the indexing. The
Time
link.
for breath. Please stop
Okay.
and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, relax.
Where is the?
Hmm. Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Start. What's 30 minutes? So 60. 1.
60 times 30.
Uh,
Oh, Jesus.
180.
Okay, let me. Are you doing the indexing? Okay, doing it. Okay, I was
Uh,
wondering it.
21. 1,000. Perfect. Done. So now let me set the time. Timer.
Okay, so for this topic, we have 20, 15 to 30 minutes. So let me just set 30 minutes for now. Is anyone setting the doing the timekeeping? Or
I'm
I can do
doing.
from my end?
I'm setting the timer. 30 minutes
Okay.
plus 6 will be 36 minutes plus break. Start. Okay, start now. Perfect. Mm,
Okay, who would like to start?
the topic is option of or buy. I think we have gone through this option before. Let me get those options from note. But I thought it was about.
Time to pause.
Hmm,
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
I'm trying to
So
get
you
the.
guys already discussed about the options before?
There was option before, and
Okay.
I think it was about. I'm trying to get it. The machine is very slow. Okay.
So I believe here we are talking only about the tokens and not about the loan alone.
To my understanding, according to what we have gone through, I don't know where is it.
We should have all the options. Do you not have the options, or what? We've gone over this many, many times. I don't see
We
anything.
have gone through many times. Yes, I'm trying to get them. I was thinking we are just going directly to where to get the money, not to what.
But those are the options. The options are where to get the money. That is the option.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just not prepared.
I'm trying to get it. I'm saying my machine is very slow. But was it about the option, or it was about to discuss where if I can get. Ay, this thing is complicated.
What's complicated? Your computer?
It's just very slow. They are almost there. Those are the options. Now I'm getting them. Just a minute. Even copying is a problem.
So maybe we should go on to something else if we're not organized for this.
Okay.
Time to take a break. Please stop, write down whatever you were about to say, and take a break for 6 minutes.
Okay, let's take a break. By the time we get back, Lucy must have copied the options and
I
pasted
have
them.
them that even if I copy, it pastes 0. It cannot even paste. I don't know. The internet
Can you
programming.
share the document? Share the
Yeah.
document.
Okay, let me share the note. Maybe you can.
Okay, let's take a break. Just share the document. During the break, I will try to see if I can copy.
My, my God, I don't know. Let's take a break.
Okay, we're on break.
I manage.
Break. Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
I'm back.
I'm back.
I copied the information. So, according to the option that Jay was putting, so I decided to go the option 4. To see how it will go. It goes through fine, it is not also fine. This was the option. So to go with the option 4, what is J? I said last time I'll go for option 4.
Can sell back to the organization with loan.
Because if I said internal ops, that will still affect people money. It will affect the payment. This is the money for the organization. So I just try this option 4 and see how it will go. This was what I told you. So I would like to know what is needed. So I do follow up to see where it will go, how it will go.
So what's the question?
What is needed? I would like to go the option.
Option 4 is the UMCUS loan. So we just need to get agreement, a proposal. You were supposed to do a proposal and present it to the team. You don't remember?
Yeah, but you told me first we should have to know where the money come from, because people is still will have to. That is the first thing before everything.
Please stop.
The money would come from the loan. That's what number 4 is. It's number 4 is the loan.
3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So what is needed?
So what's the next step?
Agreement. There's 2 agreements. So there's agreement on the team or co-op to pay to buy Lucy's tokens, right? And then there needs to be agreement on the UMCUS loan. So last time we got agreement from the team, everyone approved the concept of buying your tokens for the $345, whatever it was, but then we never got UMCUS loan agreement.
Expectation.
Che, are you writing in the? Are you in the note?
UMCUS loan agreement. I'm trying to get the agreement. Just have a very.
So are there other questions you guys not understand or what? This is exactly the same thing we did last time. So there was a proposal to the team The team voted on the proposal and approved it, and then we just needed to get the agreement on the UMCUS. They're literally exactly the same as what we did before. So now we just need to do it again. There would need to be agreement from the team, and then there would need to be the UMCUS agreement. Just like everything we do with everything, including our budgets and any other payroll. Like it's all the same. There's no difference.
I just want to get the AMCAS, the expectation you put last time on AMCAS. It's just that my machine is very, very slow. So, what is the expectation for AMCAS? Because last time the expectation was to put the deadline for tokens, but this time around, the expectation for the AMCAS.
Well, we would need to do an UMCUS discussion with our client hats on and think about it in the perspective of the client.
Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
And so that would be like a separate
So I
topic.
think you just send out the proposal and then people vote on it and then we go to
Or you just present it here. And then
No, I just need the AMCAS first to be discussed. The problem is AMCAS. I will put the proposal, but the issue is last time the agreement was for AMCAS was to make sure I say the deadline for the tokens payroll, which I said, and it was to calculate when exactly should happen. This is where I think break. But now we already have the deadline for the tokens. So what is the next discussion now for AMCAS? CJ say discussion. So can we then discuss out about it? How is it? What the client needs? If it is discussion.
Well, let's just list everything that we have now. I mean, no reason not to. We have the loan calculations and totals. There is obviously the multiplier, and there's payroll, issues that are ongoing. There's some of the calculations and bonus structures that are still not clear. We have issues on RTVA, obviously, which relates, and then we have all of the issues for the tokens. And then we have token issues.
Okay.
So are we doing the UMCA discussion now?
I think it should be its own topic.
So are we done with this topic?
I don't know. I mean, it depends if we want to even get agreement on doing anything. Right now, we don't have agreement to do anything.
So now what you list is
Time
what
to
needs to
pause.
be discussed.
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So what does the policy say? Do we do the proposal before the UMCA discussion or the UMCA discussion before the proposal?
However you want to, but it's good to, you could do them at the same time as well. But the idea is that right now we don't have any proposals. It's just concept and discussion.
Because I believe it's based on the proposal that we can have the UMCA discussion. That's what I believe. I don't know if it's correct.
For me, the biggest issue is just the process. It's the biggest issue. Like, it's like we never do these things. We've done this literally hundreds of dozens, not hundreds of times. So it should be very simple to just go through the process and then you know, vote things and have the proposals prepared and ready to go.
But last time when I have a session with you, you are telling me we are this is not going to be like the way last time we have a lot of issue. It's going to be 10 times easier than the other part. The other
I have no idea what's going to happen. All I said is that you can just copy all the problems that occurred because we just stopped the process and didn't even finish anything. Like I'm not guaranteeing anything. Like I never said anything about, oh, everything's gonna be 100 million times easier because it's all guaranteed. I didn't say that. All I said is that we just follow the process, and that's the whole concept behind, the probation and stuff. Like let's just do the process.
Is it about probation again, Jay? Or is it about token? But you listen.
No, it's about
My
following the
question
process.
is
Let's
now
just
let me
follow the
have a question. I don't know whether this probation limit me not to even to say anything. Am I all this whatever is list? Is this all what I can follow for me to get the token?
No, I don't think you just. I think you just don't understand what's going on, and you should step back instead of making a bunch of assumptions. Like every time you make an assumption, it is a very, very, very bad thing. And instead, you should ask questions, and just relax, and just go through the process. Like there is no requirement to calculation cost except for maybe the loan calculation, so that we know because this is part of the criteria. So there's the UMCREST criteria, and then typically within the UMCREST you have agreements before the loan, and then you have agreements after the loan. Agreements after the loan, right? So
stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Right now, besides actually doing the UMCUS loan itself, it's just a matter of knowing where the money is coming from so that we can just transfer it and make it happen if there's agreement to spend it. So it's not, there shouldn't be any assumption. So until we have agreement on something that needs to be done before the loan, or we just need to follow the criteria for the UMCUS. And if you guys are not able to do it, then you need to ask questions, or you need to ask for help, or you need to have someone else do it for you. Like there's no difference of this than anything else that we've ever done.
Jay, so what's the criteria for UMCAS?
Well, let's start with the responsibility training. I mean, we've gone through this literally dozens, if not hundreds of times. So let's get organized so that the next 100 times we do it, it's all organized and clear, because we should have all that information in writing and available for people doing.
Okay.
We know that there's a requirement for a discussion. So why don't we start by doing policy training, right? It's a great thing to do because we're required to have our work organizing and or no work organizing or responsibilities training, right? So we're required to have discussion, we're required to have the calculations and the loan amounts, and we're required to have totals, and we're required to have the clarification on the client expectations. And we're trying to split the client expectations before and client expectations after so that it's clear. And obviously there needs to be a proposal, it needs to be agreed upon. So I mean basically the same as ever before.
So for the client discussion, I think the first thing we should do the client AMCAS discussion, because the other thing I can do it and send it to, but for the AMCAS discussion always we need everybody to be there, and it's supposed to be at least during the main session.
Yes, under policies, whoever shows up the main session is empowered to make whatever decision that we want to. So, and then you do the voting form, and then you send it out afterwards. So it's like,
close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So can you have a
make sure that just make sure that Ate understands that option 5 would be to not do an UMCUS loan and instead just take the money out of the internal operations. So the internal operations we have like $600 in the internal operations for our operational bonuses and payments.
The $600 internal operations, is it the one we compromise from Co-op 1.0?
Correct. That is exactly the money that we currently have in the organization.
And if we take that one, it simply means that we will not be getting paid for the internal operation work we do, right?
Well, we're just not going to get paid as much because there just would be less money to pay people from.
By the way, Lucy already chose option 4, so let's just continue.
Again, this is not up to Lucy. You understand? The decision is made by the organization.
I'm okay with the option 4.
Okay, but I just want to make sure it's clear that I feel like we get into a lot of problems when we think that somebody's in control of everything. Like the only thing that we do is follow the process, and whatever the organization decides, we do. The only thing that Lucy has a right to do is to request for her tokens to be sold. Right? That's her right, is to sell her tokens. How it happens is not Lucy's decision. It's the decision of the organization and the cooperative.
Okay. So I guess we should go to topic 2 and have the discussion. Any objection?
No objection. Is that okay, Jay? We go to topic 2 for AMCAS discussion.
Sure.
Okay. Let me
15, 30 minutes.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
This is token. So, what will be the desired outcome? Open discussion on how to go about Lucy's token, or open discussion on Lucy's token?
I don't know.
I think that maybe we should start finalize a few things on topic 1, so that we can just finalize the actual amount and know what we're talking about in relationship to the UMCUS discussion.
So let's go back to topic 1.
I think we should topic 1.
We still have 7 minutes on topic 1.
So on topic 1, line 60, I'm copying and pasting all of the details for how we sell the token. So the thing to understand here is that Lucy's asking for $345.49. Is that correct, Lucy?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, if we buy back all of these tokens, right, that would be what we call option 5, which is 100% buyback. So 100% buyback would mean that we would take on a $345.39 loan, and that we would buy back all of the tokens from Lucy, which is about 36,000 tokens total. Once we buy all of those tokens back, all of these tokens will go out of circulation and be burnt. And so they will no longer be available, which means that the value of all other tokens will go up, right? Because the less tokens that exist overall, the more value there is per individual token. Okay? So burning and destroying tokens is good for everybody in terms of having our tokens be valuable, right? So, but that's going to cost us $345.39. So on the low end, the minimum that it looks like that we could sell back would be around $100. $100, I think. I'm not sure why the amounts are off here.
To pause, please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Anyway, so I mean, I think these amounts are a little bit. Oh, I see. We're selling more. Okay. So yeah, so the minimum amount would be the token sale of 50%. So this one would be a higher loan amount. The lowest would be the highest would be 60% of the token sale. So if we sell 60% of the tokens, that's the lowest amount of buyback, which is 40%, which would be $225.39. So in that case, we sell 21,000 tokens, and then we burn 14,000 tokens. Right? So the selling is going to bring us $100, and then everything else, all the other money comes from us, and the loan we have to pay back. Okay? So if we sold all of the tokens, 100% of the tokens, and there was no buyback, then Lucy would just be getting her $120 for selling all of her tokens. Maybe $150, right? Do you see the difference? There's no option to sell 100% of the tokens, because then we get nothing from the loan. There is no buyback. Does that make sense? So if there was 0% buyback, then there would be 50, and then 100% sale. This would just be Lucy selling her own token. Does that make sense? There's
Yes,
no benefit for us to just sell the tokens and then give Lucy all of the extra money. There's nothing. That's just like a direct payment to Lucy. And that should just come out of her tokens to begin with, right? So that would just be like a capital payout, which is not even what we're discussing. We're not even discussing capital payout. Right now we're talking about buying Lucy's tokens from her. So we're talking about 36,000 tokens, and the value is $345. So do you guys understand the options? So the question would be, how much are we planning on getting the loan for? And it would be somewhere between $200 and $350, right?
Time. Break. Please stop. Write down whatever you were about to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
So you basically have 200, 250, 300, and 350. Those are the four primary options. I guess there's only four options. That's weird.
4 options.
Yeah. And as far as like just estimating the total value and amount that we're talking about, depending on how much tokens we want to burn.
Burn. Okay.
So anything that would just be Lucy selling her own tokens and just getting a smaller amount, right?
Okay. I don't understand.
Cool. So anyways, I just want to make sure we have clarity on the amount of money that we're talking about and exactly what we're talking about when it comes to selling them. So if you want to have the maximum flexibility, the UMCUT's loan should be for the amount of $350.
So I don't really understand a bit this. I'm a bit confused. When you say zero to sell 0%, you on sell token sell 0%, token buy 100%. This
Like
is
let's
100%.
say a Tay wanted more tokens. And Tay's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, these tokens are going to be valuable because we're really going to get a lot of work done, which obviously is not the case. But if it was the case, you're going to do tons more work and make the tokens really valuable. And Tay's like, okay, $345 for 36,000 tokens, that is a bargain, right? If a Tay bought your tokens, Lucy, for $345, those 36,000 tokens would be sold to a Tay, and then she would own those tokens. And those tokens would still exist, and none of them would be burnt. But if the organization is spending $345 buying those tokens back from you, you're not technically selling the token. We're buying you out, and then those tokens are being destroyed because they're going back to the organization. They're not active current tokens on the market anymore because they're turned into the organization in the payroll. So basically they are dissolved, they're deleted, removed from circulation, no longer in circulation. But if you gave them to a Tay, they would still be in circulation because now a Tay would own them. Because when you give them back to the organization, no one will own those tokens anymore. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So anytime the organization buys back tokens from workers for any amount of money, then we are taking those out of circulation. So let's say we do the maximum flexibility and we do the $350, which I think is a good starting point. Then the proposal would basically be for the UMCUS for $350 loan or credit, right? Credit/loan. So then the one of the details would be that we cannot that we would start with co-op 2.0 would start with a negative $350 capital payout account. So after we our multiplier, we slowly bring in funds for our capital payout bonuses. We would start at negative $350, and then we would go backwards until we got to zero, and then we would have eventually start building up funds to pay people out future capital payout. Okay, that makes sense?
So does that mean the token that sell is not count anywhere, even in an organization?
Well, you're not selling your tokens, right? Instead, you are doing a buyback with the organization. So the money, the tokens are coming back to the payroll, coming back to the organization, and then they're being dissolved and destroyed.
Okay.
But we don't have to do all of that, right? So we could, it says here that we could go to as little as $200. We might be able to sell, 60% of the tokens, destroy 40% of the tokens, and then pay you. Obviously, any way you look at it, we're paying twice as much money for the tokens that are burnt than the tokens that are sold. So overall, there isn't a lot of value in selling any tokens on the open market once we buy them back from you, right? So we might just choose to just take the full 350, but we don't have to always decide to sell some of them to recuperate some of our money. And I think that it makes sense to sell as much as we can. That makes, like, if we can get $100 by selling 50%, maybe that makes sense. we could sell like a little bit so that we can get
And time to start. Please get focused on the session.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to. All right, so anyways, I think that is more or less clear what amount of money we're talking about and what the actual UNCUS loan would look like and how that would affect our future capital payouts, because we're taking on a loan related to token buybacks.
We need a break.
Yeah. Okay. So let's have a break.
Anyways, I think we're ready to go on topic 2. I think we're way over time though. So how much time do we have left on this topic?
We are done. The time is done. 0.01.
So that means we're way over, right? So I'm gonna do
Yeah,
policy training.
we are over with the 55 seconds.
Okay. So let's just be sure to do our policy training for not doing our responsibility training.
I did mine already.
Organizing. Excellent. All right, let's take a break.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes. Time for break. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Um, okay.
I guess we are going to topic 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to start?
Okay. Stepping at
Time
one.
to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Way up. Oh,
Okay, I'll ask for a second time. Who wants to start?
uh, God, I don't know what talking about actually. Oh,
Okay, let's go to the next topic then. Should we go to the next topic? Hello? So I ask a third time. Who wants to start?
I thought Lucy said she wanted.
But then she said that she didn't want to talk about anything and she didn't know what to talk about. And so that's when I suggested maybe going to a different topic if we have no idea what we're talking about.
Okay, I'll start. So as a client, I will not be willing to give extra loan if I don't know that if I don't have a guarantee like deadlines on when um the work will be delivered. I'll be expecting the workers to be clear on I'll when the work will be delivered so that I can be convinced. In short, the workers need to convince me that giving an additional loan is not um it's not just taking money from me for no reason. I need to be sure of the outcome of the work, when the work will be completed, who will be doing what and by when, before I can grant an additional loan. Check.
Do you want to go next, Lucy, or should I?
Let me go next. Okay. Uh,
Time
as
to
a
stretch.
client,
Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
the first thing I would like before giving the loan to know when the deadline, if all the deadlines for the work are set up, and who is doing it and by when should be complete. And then the other thing, uh, as a client, I will have to see the deliverables, the client work, yeah. I think it still goes the same with the deadline. When you have the deadline follow up, of course, we'll have the deliverable. So the first thing is when the work should be done and who is doing it and by when before giving the loan. After that, having a clear and having a clear deadline, then uh, it will be easier for me to give the loan. Check.
Okay. Um, for me, the main issue relates to the tokens. So as far as the issue with the money and the client and the fact that we have to keep coming back to the client over and over and over again for these loans because we don't do the work, right? So the question is, why are we not doing the work? If we're simply not capable of doing the work, then the client needs recruitment. Right? Recruitment is the number one priority to make sure that there are workers who can do the work for the client. But as far as like the token issues, we need the new token contract. We need token profiles. We need to make sure that there are clear values for all of the deliverable work that needs to be done for the tokens. We need to do the token liquidities and the leap era tokens, and we need to do the token websites and make sure the token model and framework is applied, and make sure we're doing multimedia and outreach for the tokens constantly every single day. This is the work that we have been trying to pay for many, many years, but just not happening. So the client is not seeing the work happen. And we have a model, it's just not being implemented. So getting the framework of our multimedia, like we're so close.
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
What would be like an example? Would be like, it's like for years and years and years, you're walking, like, I don't know, hundreds of miles to go somewhere. Like, let's say you're going on a pilgrimage to a church or whatever. And then it's like when you get there, you just don't go inside. It's like you're so hard for so long but you don't go inside. You just sit out there and just don't do it. You just don't go inside. It's so weird. Like, why would you like let's say you spend tons of money on going to the World Cup, right? And then you travel halfway across the world to go to the World Cup, and it's the finals of the World Cup, and you have tickets, and all you have to do is just go in the front door. You just don't do it. You just sit outside and you never go. You're just sitting there and you're just waiting. And you're never going to your final destination. You know. So for me, that's kind of how where it's like we have been working so hard. We have everything in place. We have all of our policies. We are now doing our topic updates and our session updates. And we could easily be doing our daily and weekly updates and then doing, updates for our, to connect to the public. So all we have to do is just open the door and connect to the public, and we just don't do it. It's such a small amount of additional work to just connect to the public and have the public work with us. And we just don't do it. And we've been trying to do this for so long, and we're so close. So the multimedia is really the #1 top priority for getting our connection public so that we can start interacting better. As far as just like the work itself, I mean, we're not, even within this work, we still don't have work organizing. We don't do work responsibly training. So the fact that we're not doing even the work for the UMCUS is clear that it's like we're not even trying to do this. So that's very concerning. So it's the same reason we don't do all the other work. We just don't do the required. We know we need to have work organizing. We know we need to follow the responsibly training. We just don't do it. We're just like, screw it. We just won't do the work. So there needs to be a proposal. There needs to be a presentation of the information to the client of what's going on with the loan, the calculations. I mean, that's even client work, and we still don't do it. We get paid to do the calculations on the loan and keep it all updated, and we just don't do it. No one cares, right? So it's like, I don't know what to do about that, but it's extremely concerning. So hopefully,
now inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
And then, of course, I definitely want to see us doing a capital payout, not a capital payout, but a negative capital payout for our capital payout account. If we are going to do this, I think that we should not be allowed to do additional capital payouts until we've paid back the $350. Or not paid it back, but just like equate for it. So I think that is pretty much it. Obviously, I could go on and on and on about all the other things, but those are the most important.
Okay.
So is there anything anyone else would like to add? I guess it's a no.
I think it's
So I think we are done with
it's
this
just a
topic.
matter of doing the work. So the main thing that's missing is the work. So if there's questions on how to do the work, then that should be answered, because that seems to be the biggest problem.
Okay, how do we do the work?
Was that a question, or is that just like you making a heading?
That was a question.
The question, well, how do you do any work? I mean, we know how to do work, we just don't want to. Like, you guys have no idea, because I feel like if I answer that question, I'm just repeating all exactly the same things for the 100th time, right? So you guys just have no idea how to do work in general or follow any of our work methods that we've done training on dozens of times?
Proposing and getting agreement and getting to work.
Yeah, so for me, that would be called drafting the proposal, right? Drafting the UMCUS proposal. We literally have responsibility training for that.
Eyes, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So for me, the problem is not that you don't know how to do the work. The problem is that you just choose not to follow the process. Right? Because you could get the responsibility training, you just choose not to. So the question is why? Why do you guys not want to just follow the processes and update the responsibility training and just like everything else, right? It's just no different from anything else. It's just a process that we go through as an organization.
Okay.
So the focus
Yes,
shouldn't even be on yourself. Like if you're interested in doing work, like don't even think about yourself. Think about the next person you're training and the new recruit and how you're going to pass off this work to the next person. That's how you would want to go about doing any work. Because if you're just doing the work for yourself, then you're missing the whole point of the assignment, which is to document and do training for other people to do the work. Do you understand why that's important, or do you guys still don't understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so why is it so important to be documenting the work to train other people in the future?
That we don't get loose of the work and I will get proper training with proven track records.
I don't know exactly what that means, but it seems the right direction. But I would say that, let's say you go to all the trouble to make the perfect responsibility training, and you get all of the videos, links, and everything's ready to go. You get a bonus for that now, right? So if you finish the responsibility training, you get a bonus for every single responsibility training. So it's like thousands of dollars of bonuses available to anyone who wants to do responsibility training. Okay, so you finish the responsibility training, perfect. It's all verified, bonuses, everything. And then there's no one who wants to do the work in the future, and so you have to do it yourself again.
So the one get paid
It's
on
going to be
working on the
work
responsibility
now that it's
training.
all organized in the responsibility training. It's going to be like 100 times easier. Does that make sense?
So is there a budget for responsibility training in Co-op 2.0?
Yes, every single responsibility training is now a minimum of $2, so a dollar bonus.
Write down whatever you were about to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
What about training?
What do you mean training?
Is
Training
there a budget for training?
for your official. If you're completing the official training, you would get a bonus.
If you train a new recruit,
That is not on a potential income. If you look at
Training a new recruit, but that's the work, though, right? So if you're working with the new recruit on the work, then you're doing the work, right? Like, what's the difference between work? Like, let's say you're going to do the bills, right? If you're training the new worker on doing the bills, you do the bills in front of the new worker and you go through the process with them, and then you get a bonus for completing the bills work. And that is the training, right?
okay, now I have a question there. How is the new recruit is going to get the bonus
The bonus for what?
for that bills if I complete? Is the new recruit also getting the bonus at the same time because you train them? You are the one doing it.
No, my understanding is that all bonuses go to the person who does the work. If you're just watching someone, you get no bonus. You don't get any bonuses for just watching other people do work. The only thing you get a bonus for is we do technically have a for attending the main session. So for example, today, which is the main session, the value of the session is minimally doubled because you get the value of running the session properly, where we have a recording and our notes, and we're running the session like any other session properly. Plus you get an additional $4 bonus for just attending the main session, because the main session is extremely important for everyone to attend. So in that context, it's you get value for your participation in the main session. So if someone's just silent the entire time and is just basically like sleeping like a moon, you don't get a bonus. But if you're participating, you're talking, you're asking questions, you're engaging with topics and doing trainings and all that, you get value for participating in the main session. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So the value for both of you for today should end up being $4 each. Right? That should be the expected value if we do all of the expected, work. As opposed to a normal session, you would only get $2 each. So you get double the value because the main session. But a normal worker attending a session, if they don't do anything, if it's all 100% training and they don't do anything the entire session, they shouldn't get any bonus. Their only value would come from the time that they track on their base pay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. That is
Yeah.
why I was. It is very clear to. It is good to understand.
Yeah.
Like
So
you see, yesterday
all of the
when I
training,
was asking Martin, he was putting $4, and it is a body team session. I think body team session always have only $4, and it should be divided into two.
yes, correct.
But he was doing it
So,
wrongly.
we do still need to talk about the bonus distribution that has not been completed yet. So that is a client expectation that we need to do. But in the context of specifically um, the training, there's two types of training. There's work training. So when you're doing work training, the expectation would be that you're actually doing the work. So your payment and your bonus is for doing the work, not for doing the training. And then they don't get anything for doing the training, because if they don't do any work, they don't get anything. Then you have the official training. So when you do official trainings like stage
Break.
5, stage 6.
We have 2 minutes. We are supposed to go for break. We have
Okay,
two
let me
minutes.
just finish my sentence, which is just that the official training would have a bonus, right? So I think that when a worker does official training, like if you're the trainer, there is a responsibility for being the trainer and a bonus for the responsibility of being a trainer. So I don't know exactly how that needs to be worked out, but if you're doing official training, you should get a bonus for doing official train to be the official trainer, as well as the trainee gets a bonus for completing the training. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are separate responsibilities under our internal operations. All right. So let's take a break.
Okay.
End of break. Time to start. Please get focused on the session. time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
I'm back.
All right. Ready.
So we have 6 remain the topic.
I'm back.
Okay.
I mean, so overall, my outcome for this particular UMCUS discussion is that it's like very minimal, very simple. Like, if we're sitting here talking about the actual budget UMCUS discussion, you know, for thousands of dollars, the budget, increase everything, it's much more complicated. This is not really complicated or complex.
Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
And the reason why it's not particularly complicated or contentious is because it's not just giving out money. We're getting all of Lucy's tokens for this money, right? So Lucy wants to sell her tokens. So that's in many ways, it's a benefit to the organization getting these tokens for such a low amount, and will increase the value of all of our other tokens. So if we just did our basic work on the tokens, there probably would be many people who would be willing to buy the tokens at such a low value. Anyways, I think we're done with the topic. Again, it's just the work. So if there's other questions on doing the work, you can ask those, but don't ask the question, how do you do the work? I mean, that's not a question, right? So for me, I don't see anyone taking responsibility. Like if you take responsibility for something, you're not going to ask, oh, how do you do the work, right? It's like you are responsibility for it, so you actually want to know how to do the work, so you ask actual questions about the work. Because otherwise, there's no responsibility. Does that sort of make sense or not?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Then the next thing.
Another good thing to understand is, like, let's say we do 100% buyback. We spend $345 and we buy back 100% of Lucy's tokens. The value of the token for everybody will not go down because no tokens were sold. So if we sell the tokens, the value of the tokens all
Time to
go down.
stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
This is the line 4, line 60, on topic 1, line 65, right?
No,
Mm-hmm.
I still line 54.
454. Okay.
So from what I'm hearing, is always advice. Is it advisable not to say you're talking to the market, but to say it back to the organization?
No, it's always better to sell it on the open market and to do the work. So another example would be, let's just see if we can find Lucy's most valuable tokens. So Lucy has, let's just take T2ML for example. Lucy has 5,624 T2ML. Okay, so for the same proposal, T2ML. So for the same proposal, Lucy just do a capital payout proposal. So proposal for capital payout of $300, and then she would give 300 tokens for $300. So if you want to agree to a capital payout, that would be based on a 1-to-1 ratio or whatever we agree to, right? So it's much, much worse to sell your tokens and do a buyback of your tokens. Capital payout is way better deal because then you only give up 3 tokens instead of 30,000 tokens. So the answer is no, you would never want to sell your tokens back to the organization. A horrible deal.
Is this the new option that about capital payout? Is this the new option?
Well, it's not an option. It's just it would just be a capital payout, which would mean that you're not selling your tokens.
It's just like the previous back pay we used to
Yeah,
take.
it would just be a normal back pay proposal.
Oh,
Because you're doing a normal back pay proposal, you're saying I have capital in the company, and I would like to remove that capital based on my ownership, right?
Yeah,
When you're selling, you're saying I don't want ownership anymore. I'm giving up all my ownership, and I want the $345. So any ownership.
so that's why Jay was saying that we have 600 capital pay up, the one we compromise for um co-op 1.0. So if you had taken, I think, is it option 5, you would have given 350 tokens to the organization and get 350 from the capital payout. But now the issue will be that there will be there won't be enough money for internal operations.
So there's other ways of getting money besides selling your tokens. So if we go backwards an entire step, the question would be, how do you get money without selling tokens? Well, you have payroll, you've got capital payouts, you have selling your tokens, you've got buybacks, you've got all these different options, which we also went over with you, Lucy. Maybe you just forgot, right? So, and then there's also the health reimbursements and the half year bonuses. I mean, there's lots of different benefits and ways, reimbursements, all these stuff of ways of getting money on our or based on our policies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we went through and I have seen everything
Yeah.
is.
So you're the one who's choosing to sell your tokens because that's what you said that you wanted to do. So we're trying to help you do that. I never said it was a good idea to sell tokens. I don't think that it is a good idea. I don't think it's going to actually benefit in terms of the long run of the value of the best thing to do is the work. If we just do the work, our token should have value. We just don't do the work.
You know, when you say we just don't do the work, yes, we don't do the work. Exactly which work that can get the token done, because it cannot be guaranteed to do the work and by the next 2 weeks I get I sell the token, or any other person, not necessarily
No,
me.
it could take years, and there's no
Yeah,
guarantee it's going to
take
work.
years.
Yeah, but if we never do the work, it's never going to happen, and it's guaranteed never to have value, right? So if we don't do the work, there's no way our tokens are going to have any value. But if we do the work, it will take time, potentially months, if not years, and then our tokens will eventually potentially have value, right?
Eyes, count 1, 2, 3, 5. Open your eyes.
But it's like that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this co-op, right? This is the experiment. This is the work that we're trying to do. This is the work that we are hired to do. So like it's like going to a house and saying like, oh, if we try to build the house, it's possible it might just fall over in an earthquake. Yes, but we could also just build the house, and who knows, maybe it'll actually become a house, right? Or we could just sit around and not build the house, and of course be built if we never even attempt to build the house. But it's like if you're a construction worker, we're hired to work on building a house. Typically, you would come to work and you would build the house. You wouldn't not build the house, right?
Yeah.
We're all hired here to do the work of the co-op, which includes all of the tokens and actually following through. I mean, we've been talking about this for years and years and years.
3 minutes remain to the topic.
I would say the value in the token, like, because if you think about before the 98-degree leap era, we just didn't do much tokens at all. And then in the 98-degree leap era, things changed and evolved, and we actually have tokens for the first time ever, right? So I would say the number one reason that we have tokens and all the value that was put into the tokens that we were able to get out of the tokens already happened primarily because of Alberto. He put a lot of energy and effort and hundreds of hours into working with me on tokens, and we made a lot of progress. And then from there, other people were able to help with the tokens as well, and we made progress. And so now we actually have tokens for the first time ever, but the public doesn't know. We don't do any outreach. No one knows we have these tokens or that they could even buy them, right? So it's possible in the current leap era, in the 157-degree leap era, it's possible we just don't do any token work at all. Maybe we'll just never have tokens for the 157 leap era because we don't do anything. Do you understand? Because we literally don't even have tokens yet for this leap era. And we might never have tokens because if we just continue in this rate, then there's no reason to believe that we will have tokens. Because we're just not doing the work. Anyway, should we wrap up and chat, or what do you want to do?
Please stop and get ready. Now inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
So I guess the next step would be to draft the proposal and send out.
Yes, or bring it to the main session. So all the proposals could all have been drafted. This is what I told Lucy to do, is to draft everything, get everything prepared for the main session, then bring it to the main session so that we can vote on it. But no work happened. So literally, we besides doing this discussion, there is no work that's happened. And in fact, I don't think you guys have even taken any notes. Like I'm taking 99% of the notes. So it's
No,
like,
no,
Yeah,
I was taking
we
the
we
notes.
we're
No,
taking
no.
notes. When you were speaking, we were taking notes.
well, in the last like 20 minutes, we've been talking about a lot of things. There's nothing. It's all blank.
No, the only thing that you say, you copy the note. I stop from where you say, I stop from Lucy selling the online 61.
Okay, well,
All
we
this.
shouldn't be stopping. But the point that I'm trying to make is that we need to focus on getting the work done. Is that not clear?
It's clear.
It's clear.
Okay, so what's the first thing when any new worker ever does work? What's the number one first thing that they're supposed to do?
Get the responsibility organizing.
Yes. Policy training already. So just remember to keep doing policy training until you actually start doing the work. So shall we go on to a new topic or what?
Yeah, let's talk about recruitment.
What do we need to talk about recruitment? Just the status update?
But me, I want to get involved on recruitment, but I don't know where to start.
Okay.
I'm just blank.
So you were
So
in the session with our teams, right?
I was not
I was
there.
there.
It was a tape. Okay.
So any objection to the topic?
No objection.
Okay. Daniel, can you please go outside?
I feel like we could do less time on it, maybe 6 to 12 minutes instead of 12 to 24.
Time to pause. Please stop.
Okay.
Close your
Yeah.
eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Yeah. 6, 12 minutes.
Please link the recording so that I'll do the indexing. How many minutes is it?
It's 1 hour. 1 hour 51 minutes.
It means that's 100 and 1 hour 51. 111 minutes.
Time is 60.
This. What